Dark Rebellion Yuya going in. He's fucking people up, and as I say, people, the preview for next week and all that is going to be insane. A XYZ between Dark Rebellion, XYZ Dragon, and Odd Eyes as well. I stand to see some really cool things in this. So let's just get straight in. Yuya loses his fucking mind and he's able to go straight back into it and just transforms into the Dark Yuya form after seeing those night skies die, and he just goes like, duel me. I take on 3 new Obelisk guys, and it's really cool that they're actually using an ancient gear deck. I really enjoy that since, GX is one of my favorite, of all the Yu-Gi-Ohs and all that. It's probably one of my favorites and then my second favorite, if I'm not still including probably a little biases to the original Yu-Gi-Oh as well. And when we see this, it's we get to see this duel going on, and they're just summoning all these 1,000-point monsters. It does feel a little bit bullshit. The whole thing with they're able just to attack you after 1 turn, since it's I guess it's understandable it's about rare, but honestly, if they were using better cards and all that, and it wasn't just because it's anime, if that was the whole rules, I swear to God, people could just straight out just do all that damage and all that. I'm pretty sure if you use Gishkis or any kind of deck like that, you just get annihilated like that. It's just straight up be annihilated. I know it's impossible, but I really do want them to use the decks and all that people use in the actual TGC or something like that, just to see how long these fucking characters would last with the actual decks that they use and all that, because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't last too fucking long against them and all that, or even deal any damage at all. And from what we saw as well, we had Serena versus Dennis, where she sees she uses a Moonlight deck, which is consistent Moonlight Cat, Moonlight Dancer, and all that. And it's I think that's a cool thing to see. Mainly her deck seems to be revolving around you tribute a monster, and or if they attack, then they're able to get other effects and all that. When we see the Moonlight Cat Dancer, its effect is you release a card, it can attack as many times those monsters 2 times, I believe, and it has I think around about 2,400 to 2,700 attack points. And Dennis didn't want to say I'm not part of this group and all that, so I'm gonna actually not use my XYZ. So it pretty much showed that Dennis probably could have won this duel. Honestly, it was yeah, he really just didn't want the Serena to say I'm not an XYZ Remnants guy, so I'm not gonna use my XYZs. And it looked like he was actually gonna beat him, and he saw those Obelisk Force guys, and he was oh, I'm going to use this magic trick. And his duel honestly felt a lot of just buying time, honestly. That because we didn't even see that much of Michi's side as well. And it's I did that Gongenzaku was yo, duel me, and that fucking fat piece of shit fisherman's oh no, you have to bet 5 cards against me. I'm not doing that, sir. That's kind of bullshit. I feel there's a point where you have to force a duel someone, because he's just a piece of shit, and he's just pretty much trying to buy his time for that. Not to mention, we only saw a little bit of Sora and Kurosaki's duel throughout this episode. Really want to see more of that. He was using a lot of the Force Strikes. He had 3 of the Owls, and not to mention he had 2 of the other Raid Raptors in defense mode, and it shows he was pretty much just continuously just going in, using the cards. He was bam, 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 like that. He was just using a continuous endless cycle with his Raid Raptors. Sora's oh fuck, and what the fuck am I going? It's kind of cool that we got to see a new card from him as well. We got to see the Edge in Tomahawk Monster, which I think it did 800 damage. You take her out a Fluffle Monster or something like that, or a Fernimall, I believe that's what they call it in the Japanese version. So overall, it was a cool episode and all that. We saw the conclusion of the Dennis versus Serena fight, and they were Yuzu was yo, what the fuck is that? Are you a Ruri or something? And it's no, she used fusions. We get to see the whole little task force that they made just to go through it, and that's pretty cool and all that. I think that was a really enjoyable thing to see. And not to mention, we get to see Serena's Moonlight Fusion deck now, so that's something to add into this episode. And honestly, next week looks a lot better, but I think Yuya at the end, he was just brushing off attacks like it was nothing like that. It's it really scared me a little bit, because he was going like that. He's just got up like the fucking Undertaker or something like that. He's rest in peace, man. Just do all that shit. Overall, really enjoyable episode. I'm going to give this one a solid 8 this week. I think it really did a lot of things better than the last week's episode. So let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this episode of Arcade. But that's all from me. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.